Welcome to Sharing My Truth with Mel and Susie, the uncensored version, where we bear it all.
We do.
And hello, everyone, and welcome back to Sharing My Truth Pod. You're here with Mel and Susie. We're so happy that you joined us today. Thanks for tuning in, wherever you're listening to this. And wherever you're listening to this, subscribe. You can hit that little bell if you're listening to Spotify. You can follow us for our episodes. We come up with one every Wednesday. And you can go to Share My Truth Pod on any of our socials, where you can share your own truths with us. And you can also go to sharemytruth.com, where you can go and send us a voicemail or an email. You can go share your truths, your stories, and your complaints. The complaint center is open. Hey, babe.
Hello, darling.
How are you?
I'm fabulous.
Feeling good, feeling fine. Mel and I went to a deli today, so now we're in food comas.
In a food coma. So it may make no sense whatsoever.
That's very possible.
Even less than normal.
Yeah, it's very possible. But no, we've had like 2 hours of talking, so now we're in a good state.
We're lumbered up. We're like lubricated.
We're lubricated.
Yeah.
I'm feeling good. So for today's episode, we thought we'd do it fun because we're going to do a little series on this. And the full topic is red flags.
Yes.
Red flags about women.
Yes.
Women's red flags.
Yes.
And how we just are princesses, obviously all of us, but sometimes we're a little nuts.
Absolutely.
And Mel, I'm going to read you some of some people's red flags. And if anyone else listening and you feel like you have a red flag about a woman or about a man, literally tell us about it. We want to hear about what your red flags are too. So I'm going to start off with one. This is typically about women. I know women who do this.
Okay.
And the red flag is that she always is the victim in all the situations. She's telling a story. Yeah. She is the victim. But it's a common theme.
I know. I think I'd run quite fast towards the door. It's not good. It's not good at all because it's just gonna escalate. It's just so boring.
Well, it's just like you have to have some self-actualization.
We have to take accountability.
Because
sometimes you're actually the person who's fucked up.
Absolutely.
And if you always make yourself the victim, it means that you can't actually accept the fact that you're wrong. And women do that a lot. I've been guilty of this. I hope my husband's listening. That women, like you're in an argument with a man and you always have to be right and you bring it back to the most random fucking shit because you want to be right. And all women do this.
Yes.
And it's very annoying. And I'm sorry, we can't actually change that. It's programmed deep into our DNA. But if you can't at any point accept that you're wrong or maybe actually know that happened because you messed it up or because you created the situation, it's not good, is it?
It's kind of this whole thing about how men, how we talk to a man about our problems and we don't actually want a solution.
Right.
We just want to talk about our problems.
Yes.
And men don't understand that.
Yeah.
Understandably.
Yes. Because it's illogical.
But yeah, we just want to talk about our problems and we don't want you to give us a solution. We just want you to listen and be like, oh my God, babe, that sucks.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
That's all you
Let
want.
me give you $1 million and solve everything. But because I know I do this and I hate when men give me unsolicited advice, even though I'm asking for it.
Yeah. Because you don't want it.
Exactly. But you know what's funny, and I've realized this about myself, is that I actually, when my friends are telling me a story or something that is a problem with them, and they are most likely just wanting my sympathies, I want to solve their problem like a man.
Yes. Oh, yes.
But I'm like, oh my God, they're so fucking annoying, even though I 100% do the same thing.
Yes.
But I'm like, there are some women though that do have no accountability for their own lives.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely. Like, and obviously men do this too, but there are a lot of women who are like, oh my God, I can't believe like this is happening to me again. And it's like, you are manifesting this for yourself because you cannot figure out the solution to get out of it because you don't want to, because you want to keep the drama because women love drama.
Yeah. Yeah. Women love drama. I think it's also that women, like, they sort of repeat patterns and they can't think, hang on, this is happening because I'm doing the same thing again. I haven't actually learned anything. I just keep doing the same thing because apparently everyone else is meant to read your mind.
Yeah.
And I do think we do that. I think I do that. Think that My husband
I
should
think,
read
oh,
my
yeah, yeah, yeah.
mind. And he's like, sorry, what are you talking about? I say, what? And I say to him, how do you not know what I'm talking about? We've been married for 25 years. How can you not understand what I'm talking about? And I've said like 3 words, and he's supposed to understand a whole conversation from
Absolutely
3
he
words.
is.
But
Tell him to figure it out.
yeah, figure it out. Anyway, yes, it is a thing. Red
It is a
flag.
thing.
It's the victim.
It is a red flag,
victim.
though. Victim blaming yourself.
Yeah, whatever that's called. Victim.
Victimization. You're victimization.
And we mean
of
this
people.
in a really, like, not if something bad's happened. We're talking if you do this about the most random, stupid shit all the time.
Well, yeah, and you know what? This is also for men and women. But if they're always like talking about their ex, like their ex is crazy,
Yes. Oh, do you then think?
then you're like,
Well,
okay, yes, of course.
maybe.
I'm sure your ex was probably a little bit nuts, but why were they so crazy? Did you make them fucking crazy?
Oh, yes.
You know?
Yes.
And I feel like that's a big thing about men is men, a lot of, I know we're talking about women, but men a lot of the time are like, oh my God, she was a fucking crazy bitch.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, was she? Or did you
Did you
make
make her
her
crazy?
insane because you're a manipulator?
Yeah.
But it's the same for women.
I agree.
When women are
Yes.
like, oh, he was just like horrible and he was awful. And I know people like that. I know women like this.
Yeah.
And they're like, he was horrible. He was crazy. And it's like, yeah, because you were insane too. And you guys, it's like you guys brought out the worst in each other.
Yeah.
So 100% he was crazy, but because also
Yeah.
you were insane. I'm not saying
Oh.
this is for every crazy
No,
relationship,
But
but
it is a thing.
yeah,
It is a thing.
just like you got to look a little bit deeper into yourself.
That's it. Look deeper into yourself.
Maybe
Solve
they're not
that
as
problem.
crazy as you think. Tick that off the list. Okay. This is definitely a woman's thing.
Okay.
When a woman shares other people's deepest, darkest secrets. Red flag or not?
I- The fact you can't keep your mouth shut,
Right.
I think, is a very common female thing.
It's a very common female thing, but is it a red flag?
I guess it depends. Well, you shouldn't be doing it. If the person said,
Don't
like,
fucking tell anyone.
Don't tell
Yeah.
anyone. And if you, the problem is women, we're all in competition with each other. So we kind of, again, and it's horrible. And we say this as two women. We
Yeah.
know this.
Yes, we're
Look-
self-actualized women.
We are. Is that we're looking deep into ourselves. No,
Yeah.
women kind of like it when other women fail
Yes.
because they think, oh,
We're
my God, my life
horrible.
is so great. Right?
Yes.
It's really catty, horrible thing. And so, oh, you didn't get the house, or you
Oh.
didn't get the job. Oh,
you look like shit.
Yes.
Oh.
It's
So horrible.
Or that thing, like I do it, like when you like at magazines and you see like a celebrity with cellulite.
You're like,
You're just
So
like,
bad.
and it's so terrible. Or you see a skinny. I was just around a pool. I was in the States and in Vegas and it was hot. And I was around the pool one day, and you see all the women in their bikinis, and when you see a woman who's really skinny but she's got cellulite, and you're like, it's just awful.
so
But women
bad.
do this kind of stuff. So what the fuck? What was the question? Completely sidetracked.
It's when women are telling each other's deeper secrets.
Yes. So
Is that a red flag?
if they're telling it in the way that it's like looking down
Catty.
on them, catty, yeah. Then you shouldn't be repeating somebody's deep dark secret. You shouldn't be doing that. And if you say, I'd say the red flag is if you're doing it in a really catty, critical kind of way. Because I know I just said that women do it, but there's an extra level. There's a level on top of that, isn't
Yeah.
there? Of extra bitchiness.
Mhm.
Like there's like normal women, and then there's extra catty bitchy. So if you do the extra catty bitchy, does this help?
Yeah, absolutely. Very
Run.
descriptive.
Run.
So like
As
here's
fast as your legs can carry you.
100%. This is like because I feel like I have a very good secret keeper. If someone tells me to keep a secret,
Yes.
I won't tell anyone.
Yeah, I believe
But
that, yes. Have I told you
I
the
have-
secrets? Maybe
I I have, if I'm like seeing a guy, most likely that guy is going to know about my friend's secrets in some capacity.
yeah.
And that is a known thing amongst couples. Couples tell each
Ooh.
other secrets about their friends. Okay? It's just
that's
a thing.
that's a bit different.
But then there's the thing about like you have to make sure that the man isn't talking about it with his
Yeah.
friends or anyone else. You have to be like, you're fucking now the secret keeper
and
of
he's
my
not
secrets.
too temporary, and he's trustworthy.
And well, that's the other thing, right? Where it's like you're not just telling everyone's secrets. Because I know women who are fucking blabbermouths, and I make sure I cannot tell them anything about myself or about anyone
But
else.
don't tell them.
Exactly.
Yeah,
You can't tell them.
Yeah, no.
But like, this is the thing. It's like, if you are gonna tell someone a secret of yours, either it's gonna be to a man and they are probably don't care or remember anyways. You just have to get it off your chest. That's what happens to me.
I think actually men are very good keepers of secrets.
Because they don't remember.
No, not just because of that. Like they won't.
don't
They
care.
won't. That could be part of it, and also they don't have that bitchy streak. So they actually are like, okay, this is your secret. I'll keep it. I know, like my husband does. I know friends of his. Like they won't. If another friend
It's
said,
bro code. They're way better
Yeah.
at bro code than girls are
Yeah.
at girl code.
Yeah, I can think of a situation recently. Like one of his friends is like another friend had said, you know, don't tell anyone, please don't. And he wouldn't. Not my husband, the other guy. He wouldn't say anything. Like I think men are much better at putting a steel iron whatever around the secret because they're not bitchy. They're not getting into it. They're like okay, this is important.
It's in our DNA as women to talk shit,
and to dissect it
to literally
to a
talk
nano level.
about everyone else. It is literally in our DNA to gossip.
Yes.
Okay?
We can't
And
help
it's
it.
just the way it is. I'm sorry. But, you know, if you are going to tell someone your secret, just to expect that it's going to get out.
Yes.
If you're going to tell a woman.
What we're saying is don't tell a woman a secret.
It's definitely a red flag, but we all do it.
Yeah.
So it's like a normal red flag.
Okay.
It's like a yellow.
So it could be, depending on the level,
It's kind of like a yellow flag.
could be pink.
It could be pink.
Purple?
Okay.
Yes.
This is kind of like a basic one, and this can go for either way.
Okay.
But let's say if a woman does not have her partners, like if they don't share the same lifestyle. So let's say he works
Yeah.
out a lot, he goes to the gym, he goes out, he has friends, and she let's say he's an extrovert, she's an introvert.
I mean,
Is that a red flag if you have a different lifestyle?
I think a little bit. I mean, I think that it can work.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not talking about interest levels because we've talked about this in connection to me. Like, I don't have a lot of the same interests as my husband, and he doesn't have my interests.
Right.
But yeah, we still get along. I mean, we're not talking about that. You're talking, yeah, I mean, that's a good example. Like a guy, if he likes to go out with his friends all the time and she doesn't, I don't think in the short term it causes necessarily an issue, but I think in the long term it's problematic because I think you're not enjoying the same things.
Yeah, it's
Like-
interesting. It's like if you bring different experiences to each other, right?
Yeah.
If you guys have completely different lifestyles, let's say even like you are completely different religions, but you're okay with that, and you kind of bring each other into the same thing. Because I know
Yeah.
relationships who have different religions,
Yeah, sure.
obviously,
Of course,
even
yeah.
yourself. Like it's a great way to find something else about something that you would never otherwise know about.
Yeah, and obviously it depends. Like in my case, it's no religion and then a religion.
Yes,
But so it depends on
which is even something. Though
It is,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. And definitely you can come from different religions. Probably not obviously very religious, otherwise you wouldn't be into the other person. But I think ultimately you can be from different religions, moderately from different, like have moderate practice of that religion, but ultimately have the same values.
Mhm.
I mean, you can be wanting to go in the same direction. You just have different upbringings because of your religion. But I think if you have different lifestyles, like you like doing different things, like completely different things. Like, for example, we'll take myself as an example.
Yes,
Should we
love
take me
it.
as an
I
example?
would love that.
So I don't like going to sport. Like my husband loves anything. Like he would go and watch snooker. Do you know what snooker is? It's like pool in England.
Fuck is snooker?
Snooker is like pool in England. I
Got
think we only play it in England, snooker.
Love that.
He would watch darts. I mean, he'd watch anything that some kind of game, right?
Right.
He loves it. I mean, I would prefer
to watch paint dry.
I would.
Right.
I really would. And it's just difficult for me. I know that's actually a failing, but I should, but I don't, and I can't. But so, and I like shopping.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't like shopping. So on a sort of that kind of level, but on a bigger level, like we both like when we go on vacation, we're both the same kind of vacation people.
That is so important.
Yeah. We don't like a schedule.
Yeah.
We don't want to be meeting a tour group at 8 o'clock
Oh
every
my
morning
God,
with a
yeah.
long list of we're going to all these things. We're not those kind of people. We both like to sort of. I'm better at sitting by the pool than him, but we're pretty relaxed, is what I'm saying. We have very scheduled lives, lots going on, and so when we go away, we like to just go with the flow. We like to go for walks. We like going eating out. We have a lot of the things when we're together. We enjoy each other's company.
Mhm.
So then that works. So that means essentially you're living the same lifestyle.
Right.
I'm probably a little more bougier than my husband. Like he's not
Well, that's
really
normal, I think.
materialistic. Yeah. But
If you bring it back to like the extrovert introvert person,
yeah.
I feel like it would be a lot harder. And me saying this as like an extrovert, even though I love being alone, but like I love my alone time.
Yeah.
But I'm
you like
very much
people.
extroverted. Yeah, exactly. So like if I were to be the extrovert in the relationship and then I was dating a guy who was like very introverted and wanted to stay home and didn't want to meet anyone or my friends, that would be way harder, I feel like, on the extrovert.
It would.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because you're like, I need you to meet my friends. I need you to enjoy their company and want to come out with me.
Yeah.
Or I would literally drag them out and then I would feel like shit because I feel like I would want to bring them out. It just wouldn't last.
Yeah.
It would be a very hard relationship to get into.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's different if we're talking, let's say the guy or the girl, like a sport like golf, which can take people away for hours and hours. The other person doesn't have to like golf. That's fine. But there has to be some kind of balance. You can't be like going, I don't think I've seen this many times when somebody has an interest like golfing or cycling or something where they literally go off for days or hours.
Right.
And it causes a lot of friction. It's not like, oh, it's something I quite like to do. Like, that can cause a lot of problems and you have to have something that you kind of like doing together.
Right. You have to have and so
A
what do you
thing.
so you travel together as a couple?
We travel.
You obviously have your kids.
We what?
You have your kids.
We
in
have our
common.
children. Yes, that did happen together. He was definitely there.
He
Yeah,
was
no
there
joking.
for something.
We do like, and this sounds very old, but we do like going on a walk, like going and
No, that is
going for a walk.
nice.
We like doing that. We like going eating out. We enjoy each other's company.
Love that.
It's okay if we were going to go and visit a city and let's say, I don't know, go to New York for the weekend. I like art and I like shopping. He's not particularly interested in either. We both like comedy shows.
And restaurants.
So we would kind of do...
You actually do have quite a bit in common, Mel. Did you know that about your husband?
We would do the common things together. And sometimes like I'll go off if I want to go, I'll just won't let it. He doesn't have to get involved. And then he doesn't have to I don't have to get involved in his thing. And then we kind of come back together.
That's nice.
So I think that.
No, that's very nice. I love that.
Yeah. But I think if you have wildly diverging interests, I do think, for example, somebody should answer this. If one person in the couple doesn't drink, I've seen this a few times, particularly like people who've like given up drinking. And I'm not talking, alcoholics. I'm sorry, socially, you like a glass of wine or whatever. You go out a couple of glasses, but let's not lie, more than a couple of glasses. And your partner doesn't drink at all. I think that can be problematic.
That would be wild for me because I love a good glass of wine. I love a nice bottle of wine.
Yeah.
I'm not like gonna go to fucking Toonie Tuesdays anymore and get like dollar beers.
Tuesdays,
yeah, you know what I mean.
I do.
You know, Mel. You remember those
do.
days. But yeah, I love going out to a restaurant and trying a nice bottle of wine or trying a really nice cocktail.
Yeah.
I love a martini.
Yeah.
I don't even know what my life would be like if I didn't have those things. Like I'd be in Vancouver and I'd be hiking or something, which is so not who I am.
With somebody who hikes.
With someone who also likes to hike. Ew. No, I'm just kidding. Hiking is fine.
Hiking is fine, just not all the time.
It's not all the time. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know. I think like wildly different interests.
Yeah, not
can be.
It's. I don't think it's
that take up a lot of your time, or like when you put it. I know. I figured it out.
Oh thank God.
That when you're together, like it's fine to have interests that you go off and do your little thing, but if the time you spend together, you like doing wildly different things when you're together. If that makes sense.
Yes.
Then I think you're a little bit fucked. That's it.
And
That's the answer.
A little bit fucked.
That's the answer.
Okay, here's another one for you.
Yes, go on then.
So, red flag or not? Excessive clinginess or dependency in the relationship?
Well, why are those interconnected? I'm very clean.
You're very clingy?
Oh, I thought you said clean.
Clean!
I thought you said cleanliness.
Clingy.
Yeah, that's
clingy and dependent.
Yeah, problem.
Yeah.
Clingy is a problem.
Clingy is a big problem.
It's a big problem. I think there are actually a lot of women I've met who are like this. I've met a lot of men actually who are clingy too.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Who are but the thing about men who are clingy is it tends to turn into something a little frightening. Like
Yeah,
men
they
who are
have-
clingy,
yeah.
like let's say you go out with your friends, are like, where are you? I didn't know you were going out, you know. And I've
Well, that's a control issue.
yeah, but I think clingy can turn into that because like what else is it? Like, you know, whereas and women who are clingy, it's also control. Like they're like, where are you? What are you doing? Like always having to validate everything you're doing. I think that's a control thing.
Mhm.
Like needing to tell me 50 million times a day that, you know, make me feel good about myself sort of thing.
Yeah, they
And
always
never
are constantly needing validation. And like, don't get me wrong, I love to be validated about
the validation.
my hotness
Yeah.
and about everything else good about me.
Well, no, of course you do. But somebody should, if you're with somebody, they should also be able to be honest. And
Mhm.
I'm not saying like cut you down or be horrible, but there should be like some balance. We live in the real world.
Well,
right?
it's also just like it's like how I want to bring my partner up, I expect them to bring me up as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't think that's a clinginess for like a validation thing. It's more just like I like to be told that I'm amazing. And I'm also going to make sure that you feel amazing in this.
But I think I mean, women do that. That's fine. I
Yeah.
don't think so. I can think of
Clingy is
people,
more like I need to talk to you every day. Where's your location?
yeah,
What's
where's
going
your
on?
or I see a lot of women who do this thing where they tell you endlessly how amazing their partner is or how much they love him and blah blah blah, and you're like, okay. I mean, you know, I think my husband's great, and I've said it many times. He's a very good man. He's very thoughtful,
Mhm.
but there are things about me that are obviously, you know, I'm not perfect, Susie. I know, shocking. And he's not perfect. And so if you sort of went on and on and on about how amazing, other women just be like, yeah, right, he's a man. Come on, get real, right? Whereas you know those women who go on and on about, oh, he's amazing and I love him, and you're just like, uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh. You know,
Yeah, I do.
and they have this clingy, and those women are often the ones who are mega clingy to that
Mhm.
man, and it must be suffocating.
Well, it's exactly suffocating. And then, I mean, like, I know the women who, and they're typically women my age, so like late 20s, early 30s, where they're kind of in this desperation phase
Yeah,
because they really want a boyfriend.
you've said it, not me.
I've said it. That's
Thank
fine.
God.
Ladies, let's get real here, okay? So, the desperation phase of like, I need a boyfriend because I need children. And this isn't just the way it is, this is biological.
100%. Yeah.
It's literally a ticking time bomb in your head
It is, yeah.
for some people. And it's tough because you really want that boyfriend, you really want that man, you really want that husband. But if you are too clingy and you are too excited and you are too like, please talk to me all the time, like, give me validation, you know, I want your attention, like, what are you doing? What are you doing? It's like, fuck off.
Absolutely. And
the men are going to be like, I can't deal with this all the time. If this is
Yeah.
just the beginning of the relationship
Yes.
or the dating, how am I going to be able to do this? This is not sustainable and I'm over it. I need a woman who has her own life
Absolutely.
and doesn't care so much about me and
Yeah,
making her like
look,
about me.
Look, I mean, this is a generalization, but this is definitely what I've seen. If a man truly loves a woman, I mean, really loves her,
Mm-hmm.
really into her, like she's everything, he will, you don't need to be fucking clingy. You just don't need to be. He will be there. He will, like, he does not, it doesn't matter if he has to run, you know, 50 fucking K, however long a marathon is, or if he has a major presentation the next morning, he will drop everything.
He will see you.
Come see you. He'll have 2 hours sleep. If he is really into you, you don't need to be clingy.
No.
And to be frank, that would be my advice to anybody who is clingy. It's going to do the opposite. It'll have the opposite effect.
100%. And it's, you know what? It's the same where I've had girlfriends or even like, even men, but like where it's just like calling all the time.
Yes.
Texting me all the time. These big paragraphs. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't have like the
The brain
capacity to deal with this at this very moment. But like, it's hard to say that, especially to a friend, because you're like, well, I want to still be there for you.
Yes.
But this is why this date that you're talking to me about did not go as planned is because this is what you're doing.
But that's funny though that you say long paragraphs because that is a generational thing. So like my friends, when
Yeah.
they text me, it'll be this
Long paragraph.
yeah, because of our age. I mean, they'll just keep going in the thought.
Yeah.
Because
Well, maybe the girls are just doing it to me. Maybe they're not doing it to the guys, but I swear to God, they're also doing it to the guys.
but then for younger people, I've found, and I've learnt this from you and my
oh,
kids.
it's like text after text after text after
I
text.
just have to do
text. Yeah.
break it up into ideas. I do have to do my daughters like the long thing. Just no,
It doesn't work.
But my girlfriends who
Yeah.
are my age, you just do the one stream of
You
thought.
can't do that.
But I get it. I do understand. It's a lot.
It's so much.
A lot. But this endless, it's not good. No,
It's not good.
No,
ladies, get a
that's-
hobby because the man is not going to appreciate it as much as you think.
it's annoying. There is a very fine line between interest and being a psycho.
Yeah.
It's actually quite a thick line. But
Maybe not anymore though, Mel, honestly. Okay, well we have time for a few more.
yes, go
A
on.
couple
then.
more at least.
Yeah.
So this one I think you may have a little something to say about.
Ooh.
Not getting along with your partner's family for friends.
Yeah. That's a problem. I would say suck it up.
Oh,
Like get along.
right.
You know, like this is a big problem for women often with their mother-in-laws.
Yeah.
It can often be very clashy because women mothers don't like some other woman coming along and taking away their son, and they
Yeah.
can get very territorial about it. The mother is also at fault, I would like to say.
100%.
And I've seen it many, many times. And I think also the woman has to just kind of accept them, unless they're horrible. That's a different. If they're mean
Yeah.
and they're horrible to you, that's a whole different conversation. If they're just kind of generally perhaps a little irritating, or you don't like certain aspects or whatever it is, you have to, I'm afraid, suck it up a bit.
Mhm.
And you have to go to the annual dinner or the whatever and blah, 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 and just smile and find some way of conversing
Yeah.
and not being combative. Be very careful with that. I could talk to you for hours about this because
Wow.
it's, I see a lot of, particularly women, getting into real problems with the family
Yeah.
of their husband, partner, whatever, and just starting trouble for no reason because
Well,
they have to have the last word.
Exactly. I feel like that's a big thing
Yeah.
with exactly what you're saying. Women who are just like not accepting of the family that they're coming into.
Yeah, you have to accept them.
Also, it's
It
just like
is what it is.
you have to just shut their mouth. And we were talking about this a little bit with like, the royal family,
Yes.
where it's like, obviously like let's not talk about it right now because it takes hours, but like
Yes.
the Meghan Markle Harry thing,
Yeah.
we're like,
You married into it.
you married into it.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to deal with it.
What did you think? It's like it's a package.
What did you think?
And I think, there are extenuating circumstances, and perhaps I understand this because my family is so incredibly difficult. So I have a different perspective maybe than most. But I honestly think, and unless your husband, partner, whatever, has a problematic relationship with their family, obviously
Mhm.
there are all different dynamics in this and all different reasons why things can happen. But if he basically gets along with them and they're fine, and you just find them annoying, which is probably 98% of the time, most people, just suck it up and deal with it. And
So,
if you have to go to dinners and stuff, just go and smile. Don't start arguments with your mother-in-law. Be
Yeah.
very careful. However, I do understand mother-in-laws who step on toes, so if that does happen, you need to have a conversation with your husband and he needs to have a conversation. It shouldn't be fought out.
Well, because
For
it
the
can
most part.
get into this like potentially abusive behavior, right? Where you're like, you can't see your friends, you can't see your family because they don't like me.
Yes. And
Right?
and then you've got to remember that
And you can't isolate yourself with just this person because maybe they're not correct.
Yeah, and also a person, whatever the background is, and I would say this even myself, where the family is combative and it's not a great situation, it's still part of who you are.
Totally.
It's made me who I am, for good and for bad. And so if the family are just kind of a little annoying, but your husband loves them,
Mm-hmm.
they are part of who he is.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you just have to find ways of dealing with it.
Yeah.
Rather than trying to be difficult, and just don't start fights and arguments for the sake of it. It is a humongous waste of time. Please take my word for it. You will lose, you'll get gray hairs over it, and it's not worth it, and you're not going to win. Just find a way of dealing with it, if you can, if they're just annoying as opposed to
Right.
abusive, nasty, etc. That's a whole different thing.
Well, so the other thing I want to say, because this is family and friends.
Yeah.
So like the other thing is, like, men are friends with a lot of different types of male personalities.
Yes.
And whether those men are more like alpha, like brawny, like
Yeah.
fucking obnoxious, let's just
Yes.
say it.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can really do about that. These men will
No.
always be friends.
Yeah. And don't
And
worry
you just
about
gotta
it.
have to accept it, and you have to accept them in your home if you have to,
Yeah.
for whatever that is. You're
Yeah.
not marrying the friends,
Yeah.
right? Or you're not dating the friends. Obviously, you're gonna see them.
Yeah.
And unless they're being super rude to you,
Yeah, and I
like,
think,
what do you do?
Yeah, and I think you can find ways of dealing with, because I've certainly had situations like that and I find ways, like, I get a bit jokey with them, and if they're a little bit, I can think of one guy I know who's, I like him, but he's a little misogynistic, so I just give it back to him. I just
Totally.
have a bit of a joke with him. He is who he is. I'm not going to change him. I'm really not interested in changing him. So I just sort of give it back a little bit.
Yeah.
And just, and it's a bit of a joke, and that's fine. And I think he takes it well. He keeps going around for dinner, so that's fine.
nice.
But yeah, I mean, you have to accept those things, because you're going to have plenty of friends that your partner doesn't like either. And you can also find ways, maybe let them go and spend time, and you're not always there. Like, you can find ways of managing that, can't you?
Yeah.
But just be a bit of a grown up about it.
Okay, so here is our last red flag. But this kind of goes into what we were just talking about. So, red flag or not, if a girl is best friends with a guy.
Yeah, because we did an episode on this.
Well, this is a weird thing, because I have a lot of guy friends.
Yeah.
Who some of them I would call some of my best friends. Like, I
Yeah.
love them. I would literally do anything for them. And I would love if they had girlfriends. Like, I try not to be very, like, weird and toxic and, like,
Yeah.
inappropriate. If they ever
Yeah.
had a girlfriend, I would never do that in front of
Yeah.
them. But, some women who are maybe, like, they actually should just be dating their friends instead of having a boyfriend on the side.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a red flag. It just definitely depends on the situation.
Not necessarily, because you can have met people in lots of different ways.
100%.
And it could be a childhood friend or a work friend or lots of things like that. I think it just depends on the nature of the relationship. And, you can pretty much tell if there's any kind of vibe going on between one side or the other.
Yeah.
And so that could be a problem. I don't think it's necessarily a red flag.
Yeah.
I think it depends. The only thing I would say in context of that is, and some women are going to hate me for saying this, is women who not necessarily women or men who have friends that are the opposite sex, as if they don't have any friends of their own gender.
Right.
I think
the girls are
Yes,
just friends with the boys.
exactly.
The boys are
I
just friends with the girls.
Yeah, and I personally think
That's a red flag.
that is a red flag.
Right.
Like, I think that is a red flag, most definitely, because it's like, well, why can't you get on with your own gender? I
Right.
wouldn't have an issue. Like, Max, my husband, he gets on very well with women. He always has. Like,
Totally.
his mum's a very kind of strong personality. His grandmother's a very strong personality. So I think he's had very strong female influences in his life, and he's always got on with women. But just gets along with them. He doesn't necessarily have a best friend who's a woman, but it would be weird if he didn't. But him, he has lots of male friends. I mean,
Yeah.
lots of male friends. So that would be a red flag if the man doesn't have any male friends.
Well, it is interesting, because now I'm just thinking about it. So, like, obviously I grew up with an older brother, and I feel like that must have something to do with it too. Where it's
Yeah,
like, I don't
probably.
think that has everything to do with it, but it's just because my brother and I were very close.
Yes.
And, like, we just get along really well, thankfully. So it's made it way easier for me to understand men
Oh, I
and
think,
be friends with men instead of just being, like, looking at them as sex objects.
yeah, I think that's definitely part of it.
Yeah.
Definitely. Is the
And
influence
it's the same for guys.
Yeah.
If they have sisters, they're gonna understand women a lot
Absolutely.
better.
It's not just that they understand them, they're much more at ease.
Yes.
Like, I can tell, like, because of Max's family, he's very at ease with women. And
Right.
again, not in a sexual situation.
No.
Because he had a very good relationship with his grandmother and like his they're very strong, very strong in his life. And so he's very at ease with women. And so that would be the same with you.
Yeah.
But that's a different thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, if
I agree with you. If they have only male friends, yeah, that's a big red flag.
Or the man has only
It's
girls.
like pick me girls.
Yes.
And
yes.
it's like,
yes,
this is exhausting and obnoxious.
Yeah.
And it's like, why can't you get along with women?
Exactly. It's like the woman who says, I'm too beautiful.
And
I can
women just are so drama. And it's like, well, maybe you're the drama, baby.
Or women are jealous of me, so I can't.
Ugh, yeah.
Ugh, get over yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So that would be my answer to that. Yeah.
Well, if you guys have any other red flags about women or guys or men, we'd love to hear about them. You can go to sharemytruth.com and you can email us there or send us a real voicemail. You might even be on the pod, or go to any of our socials at sharemytruthpod where you can DM us your red flags.
Yes, please do.
And we'll chat with you later.
Next time. Thanks so much for listening. Please rate and review this podcast and follow us on social at Sharing My Truth Pod, and leave us a voicemail on our website, sharingmytruth.com, to share your stories and experiences with us. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.